Was the independence of Nigeria necessary?
Yes. When you talk of independence, independence is something every country want to get because it has to do with freedom. And you have to start from the beginning. You know, we are under colonial, British colonial rule in Nigeria. And they came to inherit the territory. Nigeria was not bought as crown colony of British. So when we talk of territory, it's different from crown colony. Talk about territory. The British colonial master inherited Nigeria as a territory, not as a crown colony. So they themselves were aware that one day they will go. So when you are asking, is independence necessary for us as a country? Yes. Yes is the answer. Because independence has to do with freedom. And there is no person that does not desire to be free. So I would say it is very necessary. And thank God we got it, let me say 65 years ago.
In what way has Nigeria's independence contributed to the growth of the country?
Many ways. When we talk of independence, since 1916, Nigerians have been the one ruling the government. So, if you want to take record from 1960, we actually achieved a lot. We have had our challenges. One of it was the Civil War that took place from 1967 to 1970. We settled by ourselves without the intervention of foreign body. Yes, the one way or the other, but we settled it ourselves. So if we talk of development, for instance, we discovered that when we gain our independence, three regions were handed over to us by colonial masters: the Western region, Northern region, and Eastern region. After we got our independence, we were able to create one more region, which was called the Western region. And from there, regions were dissolved, and we started operating at the state level. We started with 12 states. From 12 states, that was 1967 to 19 states. From 1967 to 1976, or thereabout. From 19 states to 21 states. From 21 states to 30 states. From 30 states to 36 states. That's development. And when we were under colonial rule, Lagos was the capital city. And that was done for British selfish interests. Because capital city of a country is to be centered at the center of that country. But we Nigerians were the ones that relocated the capital city from Lagos to Abuja for our safety. And when we talk of development, from one government, whether democratic government or military government, the records are there that we are developing, and we may not have got it there, we are getting there. So,
What are the basic challenges facing the country in terms of growth?
yes, by special grace of God, Nigeria will be 63 years, at least 3 years from now. And a 63 years old person is old enough to have achieved a lot. Yes, I would not say that we are not doing well in the area of democratic democracy. But the truth is that the advancement or the development is at a very slow pace. But that notwithstanding, we are achieving. You can imagine, or you can, for instance, for the past 24 years now, we have been in a democratic government without military intervention. So that is achievement of its own. For a country like Nigeria, in spite of the challenges we have, so military has not been able to interfere over the affairs of the state. So it's achievement. Yes, the democratic governance goes with its challenges. That's true, because the democracy we are talking about was not part of our culture. Democracy was imported before the arrival of white men, or before the era of colonialism, we are under our traditional political system, under obas, emirs, and other traditional rulers. So we had our own way of doing things at that time. So it was when colonial master came that they came with the concept of democracy and the idea of democracy. So we discover it's foreign to us. Anything that's foreign to us, it goes with challenges. And these are the challenges we are facing. So I think it's a matter of time. For instance, America is about 260-something years in democracy. So we that is just, let us say, 60-something years in democracy, or we are up to 60-something. So we discover that the challenges will be there. So in as far we are not running away from it, one day we get it. People call it nascent democracy. The time shall come to be called advanced democracy. And that is our prayer, and we believe that one day we get it.
Are we making progress as a nation presently? Most especially in governance, considering the economic state of the nation.
Yes, the present state of the nation is telling hard on all of us. But the truth of the matter is that we can't run away from our challenges. We don't expect outsiders to come and solve our problem for us. The inflation assurance is that citizens of Nigeria should be patriotic. Citizens of Nigeria should take the present situation as a challenge, and it's a challenge that we all have to face, not to run away from it. And when you are facing something, you provide solution. We are running away from that thing. It means that we allow that thing to be there. So let us face it together. And we are facing it, we should even do what to do together for us.
How do we reflect on our existence as a nation for this year's celebration, considering the present state of the nation?
Nigeria should be patient with this government. Whichever way we look at it, we can't fight government. Be patient and let us join hands together to make things work. And the united we stand, divided we fall. Let us be united. Let us make differences.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Was the independence of Nigeria necessary?
It means that, to a large extent, the country became independent in those three key areas. Politically, economically, they can decide their own fate, unlike what it used to be. Thank you.
In what way has Nigeria's independence contributed to the growth of the country?
Like I said earlier, politically, we are to a large extent able to decide who rules us, who governs us at any point in time. Of course, we know that before the era of 1960, the colonial masters were virtually in charge of, they decide our fate virtually. I mean, a situation where you are in your own country and you appear to look like you can't decide your fate. So I would say that independence has really contributed greatly, because now we can raise our shoulder globally to say that we are an independent nation. We can say yes to certain things and say no to certain things. For instance, you will see a situation where it came up with time where decision has to be reached as to whether we join the country who will be supporting the gay marriage thing. And of course, if we were not independent, we wouldn't have been able to say a capital no to such. Citizens too, before now, we've been considered during the colonial masters as second-class citizens. And in our own nation now, particularly in our nation, we can see ourselves as first-class citizens in our own nation. That may not be obtainable in other nations, but at least in our country, we are first-class citizens. So we can, to a large extent, say that the fruit of independence has really given us all of this. And we can control our wealth now. We known to us and traced to us the oil way here and there, we decide what happens to it. So I would say that independence, as far back 1960, we got was actually been of great importance to the entire nation.
What are the challenges facing the country in terms of growth?
Yeah, like any other nation of the world, challenge is always there. And I think Nigeria as a country has faced a whole lot. Basically, within the short space of time, we have noticed the recent security challenges that has turned the nation to almost a situation of chaos, because that's not eating us up, but it's a very major challenge. And then there's this also the ineffective use of oil resources. It has not been able to show very well, to a large extent, in the quality of lives of the people. So there's this high level of poverty. It seems to be that the gap between the rich and the poor keep getting wider. So from independence to this day, there are obvious challenges, ranging from infrastructure, look at it to a large extent, to also the leadership. Because over time, we've not been able to get it right in the area of leadership. But again, there's always hope for the living. So all of these challenges, at several times, I'm sure we'll get over them.
Considering how old the country is, what is your opinion regarding the introduction of democracy in the politics of Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Democracy is said to be the government of the people, by the people and for the people. That means that it's all encompassing. Now, looking at independence to today, I would say that democracy has a far-reaching advantage than what we have before now, the military rule, where the masses, the citizens have little or nothing to say about what is given to them. It has also helped us to groom leaders, because in democracy, people come to power via election. So by election, you're able to say, okay, this is who will lead me at this particular time. We check through their track records, what they've done over time. And then be able to say, okay, they can do well in this area and this area. And many of them have done so well. Many have done so well, though we are yet to get to where the dream of every member of this, every citizen of Nigeria is concerned. We are yet to get there, but we can say that democracy are in a way try to pattern the life of the people, to see that leadership is one thing that, if taken away, we go a long way to affect people negatively. Again, our democracy has also been able to help us to speak up. We just had the 2023 election, and we hear people talking about what they've seen that is right and what they see that is wrong. And I'm sure there will be a template to work on those things that are right and those which may have been considered to be wrong, who have done it right and who has. And then democracy, again, they are of great importance because, of course, the issue of corruption cannot be out of place. People can answer what is said to be a corrupt thing in the system, what is not the corrupting in the system. So I would say that democracy in Nigeria from 1960 has really been of a great advantage to the entire nation. And we do hope that it is sustained by those who are at the forefront of taking decision on what will happen and what will be happening in the nation.
Are we making progress as a nation presently, most especially in governance, considering the economic state of the nation?
That's a very relative one, because progress in itself is relative. But again, economists have had it to say that comparing the GDP of 2021 and that of 2022, there has been a fall in the GDP as far as the economic growth of the country is concerned, from a value rated 3.6 to 3.3%. But we are declining. We are declining. We can also see clearly that Nigeria have witnessed a lot of migration, especially the youth who are in the center of the workforce seem to be wanting to go out of the nation every now and then. We will now hear what they call Japa. The Japa syndrome is just everywhere. That goes to say that things are not really the way it should be. Why will we not neglect the fact that certain things have been done well, yet I think economically more need to be done. More need to be done for the citizens.
What are the possible areas you think the government should channel their strength and resources to improve on the nation's income and livelihood of its citizens?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. An enlightened nation certainly will be a growing and a progressive nation. So education will be number one. Energy should be channeled in that direction. The youth have to be educated. Perhaps that will reduce the next thing, which is insecurity. Insecurity tends to be building up day and day because the level of enlightenment and education gets going down, particularly in some areas of the nation, some locations within the nation. And then you put this other one to it, which is agriculture. We tend to be channeling our energy more to the oil industry, forgetting that we have a lot of landmass that are very fertile and produce what we can eat and even be able to export to other countries. These are areas we have not explored very well. I think going forward at 63, we are quite old. We should be able to channel our energy in this regard. Thank you.
How do we reflect on our existence as a nation for this year's celebration, considering the economic state of the nation presently?
It's important to mention that celebration is a moment of joy. And for me, I want to encourage citizens to celebrate. Again, because till today we still have one Nigeria. There has been so much about division here and there, but that has not been able to hold ground. And I think it's something we should leverage on. But again, it's important to mention that while we celebrate, it's always good when everybody is celebrating. Everybody is happy and celebrating. That goes to say that those who lead us, our leaders, should be able to look at how they can provide to a large extent hope for the citizen. I also want to encourage fellow citizens that there will be need for us to sustain that hope, that perhaps things will get better, and certainly it will get better. So I will finally encourage our leaders to please look at what the masses are going through. Things are not really as easy as one may think. It's getting tougher every day. Is it from the food scarcity? Is it the petrol issue that is all over now? That while we celebrate, let's look at these areas and see how we can at least bring so many people who are even on the verge of trying to commit suicide, bring them hope again and see that there's still a future for the country. Thank you.
This is the media unit of ECCLESIAE College, Igbodu Ekpe, Lagos State, celebrating Nigeria at 63.
As a parting note, please, what do you have to say to Nigerians in the spirit of the celebration?
Yeah, thank you very much once again. In the spirit of celebration, I would want to say Nigerians should be hopeful. They should be hopeful. While celebrating, we should keep our hope up there with the mind that things will get better. Whether now or in the nearest future, certainly things will get better. So as we celebrate, we want to join other communities and other citizens of the country to wish Nigeria a happy celebration. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live every citizen of